you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. If you guys have been following along with the channel, we just got finished up with the hood for the Blackstone griddle. And what I really like to have now is a burner that will fit a very large skillet or a Dutch oven or something like that I can set right on top of the Blackstone griddle and be able to exhaust the fumes from it right out that hood that we built. So I have an old turkey fryer here. I thought I'd clean it up. And one thing I have to do to this thing is I have to shorten the legs, because right now when I set it on the Blackstone griddle, it puts it too high for where we want to place the food. So I think what we could do is we can shorten these legs up a little bit to give us a little more room between the hood and this burner. I really like this burner. This is a turkey fryer burner. I've really never used it too much for turkey frying, but mainly for like boiling corn. When we was going to put away corn for the winter, corn on the cob, we would blanch it on this. And we could still do that too. It just set a little bit lower if we had to put it on the floor or take it outside. But I really want it because it'll hold a big skillet up there on that flatstone griddle. And that's going to help out with all the exhaust. We'll be able to exhaust this also on that porch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart what we can. Going to cut the legs off of it, shorten them down, and get it cleaned up and painted and get it on the flatstone. Maybe we'll cook something. Never know. We'll see. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is tear this thing all apart, because we want to make sure we don't have anything on it, because we're going to have to clean it anyhow and paint everything. We're going to pull the burner off of this thing first. So the burner is located right up in here. And we'll go ahead and see if we can wiggle this thing out. So basically what we want is this piece right here. We need to cut these legs down so it fits on that Blackstone griddle. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure from this down to the table, and that's going to give me the length I want to cut these legs off. We're going to leave it just a little bit longer, about 8 inches. So what we'll do is we'll go around this whole entire thing, and we're going to cut each one of these legs off. We're going to hold it straight up and down as we can. And we're going to mark these legs where we want them cut at 8 inches. Then we'll take our 4-inch grinder and go ahead and cut these off. Now we're going to see what we could do with these legs to make them fit back on there. We might have to bend this a little bit. Might have to bend this out a little bit to get it to fit back on there, and then we'll weld it back on. We'll see what we can do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue cutting these legs off. Regardless, we're not going to use the legs. Things may change as we go. I don't know. We'll see. Now that we have all 4 of our legs cut off, we're going to figure out how we're going to mount them back on. Whether we even use them or mount a piece across, either way is fine with me, because we're just going to be setting it on the Blackstone griddle. So what I may end up doing is cutting a piece this way, welding it on there, rounding it off real good so it doesn't scratch up my griddle. Hey, you guys got stink bugs? I got them everywhere. All right, what I've decided to do is cut 4 pieces off of the U-shaped ones, the legs, cut 4 of them, clean them up real nice, and weld them back on flat. That'll give me more surface on the griddle. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up the edges, make sure there's nothing here that will scratch our Blackstone griddle. Nice rounded edge. Okay, we've cleaned up our little pieces really good. And we're going to weld those pieces on the bottom of each one of these legs, and that's going to give us our little stand. And hopefully this all works out, and I think it will. So let's get to welding these guys on. My hardest thing is to get this thing laying good and flat so it doesn't rock. And I don't really have a flat surface to lay it on. It feels pretty flat. Tried it several different places. Seems like it's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing cleaned up and get it painted. just thought I'd heat it up a little bit. That way if it had any smell to it, let's get it off here in the garage. Not when we get in there on that porch. Okay, everything is cooled off pretty good. Let's get this in there, set it on top of the griddle, and see what it looks like. Okay, we're gonna try out our burner. We got the cover off of it. We're just gonna see how this thing fits. If it's rocking, it's got a wee little bit to it, but I don't think that's gonna hurt at all with that big thing. I think it's gonna be fine. Setting up there like that, we'll be able to fry on here and still be able to turn our light and our fan on. And this is going, I think this is going to be really nice for Julie and I to be able to cook out here. Now, we could boil water, we could blanch corn. In the summertime, we can do it right here and not have to worry about getting the house all hot or taking this outside. If it happened to be raining, we'll still be able to come in here and blanch our corn, which is pretty nice. We love to put away corn for the winter. And this is usually the burner we do it on. I like cooking on a burner. I like cooking with cast iron, but with the flat top, it's not very easy. I would really like to have a 2-burner like this, something I can set up over there. The only thing is my hood is only so big. So I know this video hasn't been very long, so I think what we'll do is we'll cook something on here for you. How about that? So let me get set up and we'll cook us something on top of this burner and see how it works. You want to see the light on, you say? That's going to be nice. I love the light. The exhaust really makes a big difference in here. Really makes a big difference. So I think we get something and we cook on it. Okay, we're going to get ready to fire up the burner here, and I'm gonna make you guys some homemade potato chips. I don't know if that sounds good to you, but that's what we're gonna make. I'm gonna turn our gas on, find our hole, light her up. Now I like the idea of having that burner. It's like a big burner. Now it's going to get this oil nice and hot and keep it hot even after we put our potato chips down in there. I'm going to go ahead and fire up our hood. All we got to do is wait for this oil to get hot. It won't take long on this burner. Okay, now I think the key to making these potato chips is to have that oil nice and hot before you start putting them in, and put them in one at a time. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but you just gotta put them in one at a time. That's Julie laying the chips down in there.
We sliced them on the mandolin, so
they are sliced on the mandolin, and they are very thin.
So they get nice and crispy.
So you want to keep them moving around. You want to keep them moving around. I'm going to turn that heat down just a little bit, okay, Joel?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I want them crisp, but not burnt.
This is going to make some really nice, crispy potato chips. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep moving them, because we don't want them to stick together. We're just going to kind of just move them around. And usually when you're moving, you'll get one that'll fold or something like that, and that's where you get your little folded chip. I know Julie kind of fights over them out of the bag.
I took them out of the bag.
She likes them. So if you get a couple folded ones, that's what you want.
Looking good already.
Now the nice thing about having this out here is we're not in the house dirtying up the whole stove and everything around it. We'd rather dirty this up. It's much easier to clean.
And it doesn't make the house hot either.
Yeah, don't heat up the house. There's no stink in the house. Everything's going outside right here. You can see they're starting to get a little bit brown. They're almost done. It doesn't take very long when they're this thin. to cook these potato chips. So I think Julie's going to want some salt on these and some pepper. She wants to salt them. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah. Well, Kevin's calling them potato chips, but they're really just fried potatoes. They're just sliced thin.
They're potato chips.
Well,
that's what potato chips are, sliced thin.
Are we done?
I think we're good. I think you're going to find out.
They feel crisp.
I think you're going to find out that's a really good potato chip right there.
Okay. You can turn your oil off. I'm crazy about this spatula. It's hard to get all these out of here.
That's the key right there. Getting that oil hot and keeping it hot.
And have thin potato slices.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want them this crisp. It's totally up to whoever's cooking.
Giving them a nice view of those potato chips, Joel. Let them see what.
Stay. You think that'll fall?
Just leave it set in the oil. It'll be fine. Look at that. That's a nice plate of potato chips. Well, I know it wasn't very much, but I did want to try out the burner just to see how it would work. And as you can see, it worked really good here right on top of the griddle. Now, one thing about it is we don't want to slide it around because we don't want to take the seasoning off of our griddle, but we want to keep it up here just to be able to exhaust all the heat and the fumes from whatever we're cooking. And I think it did a very good job. We do love the hood. The hood has been great for putting the seasonings on. You know how much you're putting on. We just love it. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.